new Viper, you know, we looked at it as an iconic car. Icon means, you know, hey, people recognize it hundreds of feet away. You know, young kids, car lovers. So we wanted to preserve the basic performance, which means a long hood, short deck, or the driver's butt is almost on the rear wheel, right? So it's a very extreme proportion. And then you take some of the things that have always been part of the Viper is that Coke bottle shape. In this car, you know, my favorite's the 96 Coupe. I really still like that voluptuous body. So we try to take some of those elements and bring them back in a way to make it very contemporary. So a lot of the details in the car really have a lot to do with the cooling requirements of the vehicle. The fact that the engine is so long sets up the whole visibility. A lot of it because the car is made of carbon fiber and polymers, so you have to worry so much about shapes. A lot of people realize metal is very difficult to shape. So when you work with composites and carbon fibers, you can do anything you want just about. So that's why the vehicle has such exotic shapes. So we take advantage of that. So we're starting with the hood. It's really kind of modeled after the human body. There's a lot of beautiful what we call positives, negatives, and then further dips. So when you're driving the car, it looks like you're looking down somebody's back. You know, where your spinal column is. A very sensuous shape. A lot of built-in aerodynamic treatments. The whole front end. We learned a lot through our ACR program. Doing the splitter on the front of the vehicle, we actually integrated that into the design this time. So the front fascia actually creates what we call negative lift. It actually creates a little bit of downforce, so at high speeds the car can do well over 200 miles an hour. But the big deal is being stable at that speed. Any car could go there. If you make it slippery enough, you can do that, but you have to compromise using drag as downforce. That's what we've done there. Taking not one more ounce of cooling than we need, because too much opening actually hurts the top speed. And then this is actually functional to create the pocket of air. It kind of vents the air out of the wheel. It helps cooling, but also relieves pressure. These are functional as well. This is actually from our racing program. We learned that there's a lot of negative pressure here. As the wind goes over, it actually sucks air from behind the radiator. It helps cooling. It also relieves pressure and keeps the nose from lifting at high speed.
You also added LEDs.
Yeah. One of the things I love about this generation is we went back to the clamshell hood. At car shows like this, it's one of the funnest things is to kind of show off.
Of course, that's why we're here.
So we had a fun time. Our designers and engineers got together and actually worked a lot on the styling and even the underbody, right? So we call this thing Spikey. It's actually a very functional part of the vehicle. It's a stabilizer for the whole front end. The whole suspension is so far away from the center of the car that it's very vulnerable to twisting. So by adding these braces, again, lessons learned from our ALMS racing back in the day and also our ECRX program and our Compute program, by stiffing that up, it dramatically changes the way the car moves. But it'd be ugly if we just had a bunch of bars. So we actually went after it, styled it.
Yeah, it's like the first time I've seen you since like 1979, man.
Composite manifold versus aluminum. Took a lot of weight out, but also helped the flow. So we have much better flow into the engine bay. The engine's lighter by about 25 to 26 pounds fully dressed, thanks to an aluminum flywheel, manifold, and actually optimizing the block. Even though it's still a V10, the block is brand new. We optimized cooling passages, strengthening the block, and also went back to forged pistons, which a lot of tuners will love. So the engine is very robust and is really open to the future. So leave it at that. So this whole,
we're all friends here. We're all friends here.
You can see how light the hood is. It's a little wiggly, and that's normal for a carbon fiber. But once it's set down, it actually stiffens up when it's located. So it's very light. One of the heaviest parts of a car can be the hood, so very light there. The cockpit, a lot of the styling. This door is actually the only metal part. This and the sill are made out of aluminum.
So that's what I'm really important.
Yeah, the reason we make aluminum is for strength, but also for weight. It's a new process called superform aluminum. It's a heated, before you stamp it, you heat a special way. Aluminum normally can't do this. Only metal can do it, but it's much too heavy with metal. It's a very difficult shape. If you look at this undercut,
try to get them
that's
behind
impossible
the rope
without superform to get that level of shape. And the sill, because of heat, the exhaust runs through there. We had to make it out of metal. We tried other things, but it actually melts it. There's so much heat coming out of there. And I'm a big believer that, especially with SRTs, if you're going to put scoops on a car, they better work. So this is actually a very functional part of the car. This gill, which has been a symbol of the Viper's design forever. And we've actually really kind of pushed it this time, really making it a whole part of the body side. That line that comes out of the scoop goes all the way here, kind of crosses over and becomes a shoulder. So it really creates a very dramatic line. And part of it splits away here, creating this elongated deal. We added this is functional. So the air, it doesn't cool the brakes, it actually cools the differential. The air goes through the pillar all the way down. The differential gets very hot on a high-performance vehicle because it's working overtime. When you're turning the car, you're putting so much power through there, so we actually run air because that differential is so isolated inside the car, it doesn't get any cooling naturally. So if you force air this way, it cools it off. The brakes, even though they need cooling, the rear brakes don't work anywhere near as hard as the front, so they don't require as much. We brought back the double bubble roof. Try to get as much height as we can. We've increased the overall room for tall guys. Big complaint that the old car was sitting inside, so we've added 30 millimeters of overall height. We changed the bulkhead a lot, so we've got about 90 millimeters of travel. So by going to the shell seats and the increased room, you have a much better situation. The seats are lighter, they're cooler looking, they keep you in place. It's one of my favorite. We'll talk about the interior in a second. One of my favorite parts.
You still burn your legs?
No, much better. We've managed the insulation. I don't know of anyone burning the lawyers would say, huh? So anyway, so kind of keeping a lot of the lines of cars. If you were to park them next to each other, you realize how different.
It's the only one manufactured.
The back window is now.
Only we have one more, and that's it.
Of course, that
That's
makes
it.
sense.
Nothing else. Nope. The race car.
Really amped it up a lot. When you look at the car on the freeway, when you finally see them on the road,
What about all
you
the
see how
other
wide it is. The car is
the other
as
ones
wide
that
as
are running around Detroit and all that?
I mean, any wider, and we'd have to run clearance lights. So it's right at the maximum in terms of width. They're beautifully sculpted. And then finally, this wing, we've been playing with the height. The production car is actually taller. This is a show car. It's slightly taller. For aero, we've been tweaking. This part of the car is one of the most critical for high-speed stability and also for the look of the car. So I love the way that looks. You have a continuous line from one side of the vehicle all the way around to the other. It makes for a very wide, beautiful, and also a very simple design. The goal with this car was to make it gorgeous but timeless. So hopefully it'll look good for many, many years. We'll be at a car show like this 10 years from now. It'll still look good.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of the carbon fiber here too.
We use it here. It's functional. It's all real. All the carbon's real. Actually, this panel and the hood are all carbon fiber.
Wow.
But we don't expose it because it's very difficult to get that much carbon fiber to be what we call the Class A. So it is carbon fiber. In the future, we can look at organizing carbon fiber in such a way that we can actually show it off. So we'll keep that as an opportunity one day. But this on the GTS is carbon fiber. On the regular SRT version of this car is body. You can have either way. So this time around, we have a lot more choices. We have multiple interior colors, multiple exterior stripes. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you said the incredible interior.
Oh, I think the key is not here.
I have the key.
The keys are in it.
Oh, I don't know where they are, but anyway, the interior totally redesigned, 100% new. It's all leather wrapped this time around, so every surface is wrapped, whether it's high-grade vinyl and the GTS, 100% leather on the interior. It gives you the car the phenomenal smell. You ever store an older car and you open the door, you smell that incredible leather. A lot of people don't drive these cars much more than once a month or something. So it really gives you a sense of occasion. Except the ones that live in the South. We're very, very proud of this. It's really about fit and finish. Really taking the execution levels to a world class level. So we're excited to finally have something that kind of shows off a lot of the best parts of the new Chrysler.
Being part of the Ferrari group, I mean, being part of
I get in
Fiat.
trouble when I talk about
No, but being part of Fiat actually helps. Like, I think you source the same seats from Ferrari.
Just Sabelt is a supplier, but that's really it. I don't want to kind of mislead anyone to think Ferrari helped us with that. They have their own projects, we have our own projects. But people may think that on the internet. Part of the group, they expect certain levels, but the way I look at it, we have to bring our game up so that we can be set in the same. Why not? One day have two people. One guy has a Ferrari, one has a Viper, and they're hanging out talking about it and love both cars. So it's all good.
But the Grand Cherokee actually helped with the Maserati too, right?
Whatever. It's all in the family, so it's good.
Thank you.